Well, good morning, everybody, and welcome into the official Steven Singer Studios. My name is Marc Farzetta. This little show to call the Farzy Show. We got Phillies conversation coming your way. We got Sixers conversation coming your way. And you know what else we have coming your way today? We got Zach Gelb coming up from CBS Sports Radio. He does the Zach Gelb Show, appropriately titled, from 6 to 10 p.m. every night, Monday through Friday. So I look forward to talking to my old friend, Zach Gelb, who was an intern at WIP while I was there. Great guy, and he gives us the national perspective on all things going on in Philadelphia sports, including it goes from Jalen Hurts to Ben Simmons being at Wimbledon to Scrapple, how I enjoy Scrapple in the morning, which is just a delicious treat that I believe is what really the America was written on. I believe Thomas Jefferson, when he was writing that little Declaration of Independence that we celebrated, I believe I just played a Scrapple with him. Maybe a sausage, egg, and cheese, maybe that to go along with it. Maybe a little Scrapple, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel, because that's the nectar of the gods as far as I'm concerned. But anyway, welcome in. I am back for my brother-in-law's. There are no foxes in this studio. I have the meat sweats. I just want to get this out of the way. My brother-in-law has a smoker. He loves his smoker. He smokes everything. I had a variety of meats. I believe I covered the gambit here. There was beef. There was chicken. There was chicken wings. And then he smoked like this. It was bacon. I'll just call it bacon. It was like a really thick bacon that he smoked for breakfast. So it was like breakfast, lunch, dinner, meat. And yeah, I'm still like, I eat meat all the time, but not in that capacity. Good God, it was delicious. So that's me coming down for my 4th of July barbecue high, basically. But it is good to be back in the studio and not in my car, even though it was only one day. I'm sorry I couldn't find a body of water to put my kayak in to do a second Yakking on the Yak show, as we did just a couple of weeks ago, months ago, whatever it might have been. But welcome in. For those of you that did not see the show yesterday, we covered it all, basically. First off, Jason Kelce being on the side of Lincoln Financial Field for that banner. That's great. One person did suggest Brandon Graham in a strip sack of Tom Brady. That would have been good. That would have been good. I think we all would have recognized it, even if Tom Brady wasn't in the shot, per se. That way you don't have like a Patriots jersey up there. But I think we all would have recognized the Brandon Graham with him just his arms outstretched and kind of gotten it. But I think Jason Kelce is still the perfect person to have up there on the side of Lincoln Financial Field, taking the place of Carson Wentz's banner, which has finally come down there in South Philadelphia. We got into Ben Simmons' dream home, $17.5 million. I did watch the virtual tour, and there was no basketball hoop. So hopefully when he gets back from Wimbledon, he'll be able to install that basketball hoop and, just have a little shoot around in the driveway. That's all I'm looking for. Yeah, we got into some other stuff as well. Zach Berman joined the show where he thinks Zach Ertz has played his last game as a Philadelphia Eagle. And it's just going to be a matter of leading up the training camp. So now the last couple of weeks of the Eagles having Zach Ertz as a tight end on their squad. And I agree with him. I'd be very much surprised if they even got to the first preseason game and Zach Ertz was still on this football team. So that's a lot of the stuff that we got into yesterday. Today, like I said, Zach Gelb is going to be joining the show. So back-to-back Zachs on Monday and Tuesday today. Yes, I know today is usually a Hughes day, but unfortunately, Hugh was still celebrating 4th of July, so he couldn't make it on the program today. No worries. We'll get him back next week, and hopefully we'll be able to lock in that special guest that I also promised along with Hugh Douglas. So we will make that happen. As for today, bring you all up to speed in that little 30-second recap. As for today, look, the Philadelphia Phillies beat a bad baseball team. The Philadelphia Phillies are not a very good baseball team, but when a not very good, average, so-so, men's type of baseball team beats a bad baseball team, it still makes you feel kind of good, especially when you shell them 13-3. It makes you feel kind of good. So I'm watching the game last night, and Andrew Knapp steps up, hits a home run. A little bit later in the game, Didi Gregorius comes up, hits a home run. Then much later in the game, you have Rhys Hoskins come up and hit a home run, and then you have Alec Boehm hit a home run. Now, Didi Gregorius has gotten a hit in every game since he's been back, which has been great. And I love Didi. It's nice to have that swing back in the lineup. When I watched that game yesterday, I saw a team that was determined to separate themselves from the Cubs. Oh, we're not that bad. And that's why they added on runs at the end of that game. And that's why you got Rhys Hoskins with a little bit of home run pop off a position player there in the ninth inning. I know in baseball, it's one of those unwritten rules of baseball that you shouldn't be swinging for the fences per se, but the hell with it, man. If you're Rhys Hoskins and you still haven't been paid yet and you're about to go into arbitration, yeah, you're going to be padding them stats as much as humanly possible. So now he's got 19 home runs on the season. Alec Boehm stepped up, hit his fifth as well. And if you would have told me that the Phillies were going to win the first game of this series in a game that Matt Moore was going to be starting, a game that you knew the bullpen was going to be pitching a lot more than what they used to doing, I would have told you you're crazy. And if you would have told me that the Phillies offense was going to spark out 13 runs, I probably would have said it's about damn time. Because this lineup has been, I know we all focus on the bullpen. And rightfully so, because they'll have these narrow leads, these 4-3 leads, these 3-2 leads, whatever it might be. And the bullpen needs to hold those leads. But this lineup, especially when you have a guy like Aaron Nola today going up against old tight pants Jake Arrieta, you want to see that lineup support their pitcher. It's common baseball. I'm not breaking any news here. But this Phillies lineup with Bryce Harper, with Rhys Hoskins, with JT Realmuto, now Didi Gregorius back in the lineup. This Alec Boehm is supposed to be a good hitter. Remember him when he was a good hitter? Runners in scoring position like the best in baseball last year? That was fun during his rookie season. This Phillies lineup needs to be putting in runs. Gene Segura is back in the lineup now, too. It's a matter of getting healthy. It's a matter of getting hot. And I know we always joke about Charlie Manuel saying it's hitting season. Well, for whatever reason, that seems to apply for the Phillies. Starts to get warm out, starts to get hot out, they start hitting the baseball. It's been hot out for a little while now. Chicago, not so much. But last night, you see this team finally belting the ball out of the ballpark and making things happen, regardless of who their starting pitcher was, regardless of how many innings their bullpen had to give you. Now, let's look at this for a second. You go into that eighth inning. Phillies are up 10-3 or 10-2. Alvarado comes in, gives up a home run to right field. Did the wheels start turning at that point? Because it started turning for me. And I even went so far as to throw out a Twitter poll there to the good people of Philadelphia saying, the Phillies going to win this game, right? And then the two options were, of course, or I'm nervous. And the majority won with I'm nervous in a 7-run ball game. Yeah, I'm sure some of that was tongue-in-cheek, but I'm sure a lot of it wasn't. How could you not be? They blew a 10-run lead the other day. They allowed, 5 runs in the 8th, 5 runs in the 9th. The next thing you know, lead was gone. That's the point it's gotten to with this Phillies team. But you know what? They added on in the 9th inning, regardless of the fact that it was against a position player who was actually out there on the mound pitching, and you had a guy in Rhys Hoskins go yard, like I said, in Alec Boehm. So, hey, we'll take what we can get. Jake Arrieta gets the start for the Chicago Cubs tonight, I should say. 8:05 start time against Aaron Nola. Be nice to see old tight ends who's have some struggles this season. And I'd like to see Aaron Nola in, it'll be probably his second to last start of the season, I believe. And go out there on a good note, at least going into the All-Star break. Phillies right now are in a bit of an odd spot. They just need to keep beating up on the Cubs before they go to Boston, because I know everybody is talking about, this is why they're in an odd spot. Everyone's talking about how easy the schedule is in the second half of the season. Well, yeah, sure, you're talking about the Cubs, and you got a 4-game series with the Cubs, but then you also have to face the Boston Red Sox, who are actually having a pretty decent year, and you have to go to Fenway Park for that, and that's how they round out their season, or the first half of the season before they go into the All-Star break. So, yeah, it doesn't get exactly all that easier, at least not heading into the break with a 3-game series against the Red Sox. So the best the Phillies can do right now, take care of business against the Cubs. And it seemed like certainly again in that 9th inning, they wanted to separate themselves and say, hey, we're bad, but we're not that bad. We're not Cubs baseball bad. We're not just worried about having friendly confines, and that's it. And then they didn't take care of business against the Red Sox, going to the All-Star break. And guess what? They took care of business against the Padres by winning 2 or 3 in that series. Great. Do the same thing against the Boston Red Sox. Take 2 or 3 from that series, and then go into the All-Star break feeling pretty damn good about yourself. That's what I want to see. We have a Phillies team also that has now won 6 of their last 10, so 6-4 in their last 10. They have not lost back-to-back games in 2 weeks. They haven't lost back-to-back games since July 23rd, I believe it is. Yeah, July 23rd and July 24th. So that's good. keep on building, Phillies. Keep the good vibes coming here as the schedule is supposed to get so much easier. NBA Finals start tonight. Giannis Antetokounmpo listed officially as doubtful for the game going into Game 1 against the Suns. I'll be honest with you. I know I usually go like East Coast or Eastern Conference, but you know who I actually do really like? I do like the Suns. So I think I'm going to be pulling for the Suns in this series. If Giannis can play, Suns, it's going to be tough for them. No Giannis. Suns are such a damn good team. And I mean that, like, a good team. And I know the Bucks just proved how deep they were against the Hawks by next man up, next man up, next man up. It's really going to be interesting to see how this comes down to, as I was saying yesterday, with two teams that really needed a point guard. And I'm not putting Drew Holiday in the same sentence or same breath as Chris Paul or anything like that. But in terms of a team need, the Bucks needed a point guard like Drew Holiday that could kick in as a facilitator when he needed to be a facilitator, and then kick in as a scorer when they needed a score. And he has certainly shown both sides to that coin, especially in the two games that Giannis Antetokounmpo has been out of the lineup, averaging 26 points in those two games. Drew Holiday, good for him, and all season long has really been getting it done for the Bucks. On the other side of things, the Phoenix Suns needed somebody to come in here and be their facilitator, be their floor general, be a veteran when you have young guys like Devin Booker. You have an up-and-comer, obviously, and a first number 1 overall pick in DeAndre Ayton. You needed somebody to go in there and orchestrate the offense, be the maestro for the offense, and that's what the Phoenix Suns got, obviously, in Chris Paul. So I look forward to watching these two teams battle, two teams that I generally like, battle it out. I still say, somebody tried calling me out on this because I called the Bucks frauds earlier in the year with great passion. They're still frauds. I mean, they swept the Heat. Cool. They're supposed to blow them out of the water. But as far as the Nets, injury-ridden Nets, the Hawks, Trae Young got injured. Then you also have Giannis getting injured. But first off, it wasn't even the fact that Trae Young got injured. It's the fact that they got past the Sixers at all. And they drew the easier series. I still believe in facing the Atlanta Hawks. So the Bucks being in the finals right now, it's like, well, yeah, they had a perfect path to do that, so good for them. Suns, can't say the opposite about them. You say the same thing about them. Obviously, you had the injuries with the Clippers. You had the injuries with the Lakers before that. This Suns team, it faced the Jazz. Jazz had an issue, obviously, where they couldn't, they didn't have their second best player. It's a wild thing, the whole season that they have gone, the whole postseason that they've gone through right now. So you could say the same about both teams, that they had luck on their side, if that's the right way to put it. When it comes to the teams that they were facing throughout the postseason, were not at their absolute best. So at least there's that. On the Bucks side of things, Giannis obviously missed 2 games against the Hawks. They are obviously already missing Dante DiVincenzo. On the other side of things with the Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul missed 2 games with COVID. Devin Booker broke his nose, but he played. Took the mask off in one of those games. So they both have had easier paths than you would have assumed at the start of the postseason. But it'll be a battle between both these teams. I know that. I see this series going at least 6 games. So 6 or 7 games between the Suns and the Bucks. And right now I'll be pulling for the Suns, but if I'm betting on them, I'd be betting on the Bucks. So we'll continue to examine that with our guest today, Zach Gelb from CBS Sports Radio. Let me tell you about my friend Steven Singer of Steven Singer Jewelers. Folks, I hate Steven Singer. That's what the people say. It's on the billboards. I'll get text messages from people, friends of mine that live out of town that all of a sudden are in Philly, and they're going, hey, what's with the Steven Singer guy? What's his deal? And I'll be like, I'll tell you what his deal is. I hate that guy. And they're like, what? Who is he? What do you do? And I'm like, he's a great jeweler. That's the problem, because it takes away every excuse. Oh, I can't go out and buy a diamond today. Oh, I can't go out and buy a jewelry today. Yeah, it's too much of a hassle. I don't want to be haggling, and then I got to worry about a guy whether or not he's still overcharging me. Yeah, not at Steven Singer Jewelers, because every single time it's the perfect price at Steven Singer Jewelers. Go to IHateStevenSinger.com, the other corner of 8th and Walnut, right in Philadelphia, and just go observe how the man runs his business. Because every single day he's taking care of customers with the perfect price, and every single day real jewelry experts walking through all the inventory, everything you want to see, before you make that big purchase for an engagement ring or a gift for that special someone in your life. People say getting engaged, you know what? Finding the person you love, that's actually the easy part. Buying the engagement ring can be difficult. Not at Steven Singer Jewelers. Because once again, you get treated like family, first and foremost. And then second, you have people standing by ready to help you every single day. No promo codes, no discounts, nothing like that. No haggling, like I said. All they have at Steven Singer Jewelers is the perfect price for you every single time. Go to IHateStevenSinger.com or the other corner of 8th and Walnut, and always fast and free shipping at IHateStevenSinger.com. All right, without further ado, there's no hiding it. I do have a lot of friends that I'll have on the show. We'll have some conversations and we'll have some fun. This is no exception. Zach Gelb, I've known for years. Even in his days at Temple, when I was doing promos for Temple on the court during the games and stuff. And then he was an intern at WIP while I was there. Great guy. And now I couldn't be happier for him. Big things happening for the young man. He's at CBS Sports Radio doing the Zach Gelb show. And he was kind enough last night after his shift to jump on and talk about the state of Philadelphia. This is a situation where we just kind of kick it for a while. So anyway, without further ado, here is my conversation with our friend Zach Gelb joining us on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Joining us right now on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line, a man who I have been a fan of since he was an intern while I was at WIP. He was a student writer, student radio personality for Temple University, and now he's up there, national radio, CBS Sports Radio, the Zach Gelb Show, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Zach Gelb. What's going on there, brother?
Farzy in the field. I'm doing fantastic. And I do remember from this internship, this was wonderful because it's the only internship, I think, in America where they get you Del Frisco's with lobster mac and cheese and filet mignon at 7 in the morning. There was someone at WIP who they brought in the food, and I'm not going to say who it was, and they go, oh, make sure the talent gets the food first. And you and the great Keith Jones heard that, and you looked at me and said, F that, you go eat about 8 plates right now, so I thank you for that.
Hey, look, I know what it's like to be the intern there. I know what it's like to be the intern anywhere, and by golly, I didn't forget that. And you deserve that lobster mac and cheese, and man, did you went to town on it. So good for you.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I had to eat a lot during that internship. So when I recently just lost a lot of weight, I think maybe I should sue some of the people at WIP, even though they're in the same company as me now. So that's probably not a great idea when I say that out loud. I do remember, though, there was a nearby diner. You had a very controversial take on food, I guess, where I think Rhea would go to that truck right outside, or we'd have to go out there and get the tea and everything. Yeah, and then there was it was Cozy or something, and then there was the Starbucks. You went to some place around the corner because of their Scrapple that they had. I don't remember what it was, but it was a new point for the internship when we had to go get food.
Yes. I can't remember the name of the Scrapple place. I don't even think it's there anymore. My take on Cozy was, and it's no longer there, down just around Market Street. You had to order twice. They changed things around where you told the pizza guy what you wanted, and then you had to go to the cash register and tell them. And I'm like, well, why don't you just? Why am I ordering? Anyway, that's just me. So sports.
You knew this was going to be fun, right? We're not going to sit here and say why the Phillies should fire Joe Girardi or anything like that.
Oh, but we will later. That's for damn sure. It's going to bother the hell out of me because I love fine Scrapple. Scrapple is delicious. I know there was that diner down there that had the stools.
Yes, a lot of stools. Like most places you eat at, a lot of stools. But I didn't know, being from New York, I didn't know what Scrapple was. And you go, you don't know what Scrapple is? Like what's the matter with you? You got this internship, you know what Scrapple is? And then I tried it and I said, okay, this is pretty damn good. Okay, all right. Scrapple egg and cheese on an everything bagel is the single greatest thing in the history of humanity. All right, I'm pretty sure Greece built their ancient civilization on that. I'm pretty sure the Romans did as well. Pretty much any great civilization, they started it out with scrapple egg and cheese on an everything bagel. I can't confirm that, but I think that's how it happened. Mrs. K's. I want to say it was Mrs. K's. That is what it is. The only thing I will say, though, now since I'm back in New York living here, I found a new love, and that is a pastrami omelet on a bagel. Ooh. And it is delicious. I got to be careful how many times I have that, though. I'm in. You're trying to lose weight. I've noticed in your Instagram photos that you've slimmed down, that you have lost weight. How many pounds you down, my friend? Yeah, it doesn't look like it right now on the camera, but I'm less fat now. I'm down 70 pounds in the last 2 years, so I'm doing a good job. Holy shnikes, my friend. Good for you. My calves, as the kids would say, are yoked or jacked. as I'm on the elliptical about an hour a day. And I have, even during the heyday of the pandemic, I guess is the right term, but I don't know if that sounds right. At one point, I did 2 hours a day on the elliptical. So
good.
I've done a nice job.
What are you, training for the Olympics? What the hell's the matter with you?
No, I'm just training to get to the buffet a little bit quicker.
I mentioned your Instagram. I just wanted to, is everything okay other than the weight loss? Because I saw this and I was worried. I was worried about my boy.
Nice job.
I was like, what the hell happened here? What was that? I see Pilar. I see the situation. Were you trying to work out and be the situation? Take a ball to the face too? What happened?
Well, the night before Thanksgiving, aka radio where the bosses aren't living, are listening to, that hopefully they're still living, but you get the point.
Yes, exactly.
I had Mike the Situation on, and I dressed up as him for the interview. I thought that'd be a good way to kind of set the scene and make it for a fun interview. So, yes, we had Mike the Situation on CBS Sports Radio. I'm sure that played really well in Alabama for us.
Okay. It is funny because you and I grew up in this section of the world, so we know people like that. The Jersey Shore people aren't that crazy from other people we've met in our lives. But yeah, if you go to Alabama, or in my case, I was in Wisconsin, and people I was at the bar with, I was in Green Bay for a Packers game, and this lady at the bar, hey, where are you from, hon? Like that kind of thing. And I was like, from Philadelphia area. And she goes, oh, right by Jersey? And I'm like, you got to be kidding me. And she goes, do you know the guys from the Jersey Shore? And it's just like, I know people like that. I don't know them. And she's like, all those people are crazy. And it was like that, hearing that accent talk about Jersey Shore people just made it, somewhat endearing, as a matter of fact.
The greatest compliment I got since doing the national show is I got a Instagram direct message from a listener in Clemson. And this is what I usually find. Whenever there's an Instagram direct message, 9 times out of 10, it's not positive. So I'm going down this rabbit hole and I'm reading it. And they go, when I first heard you, I thought you were narcissistic. I thought you were like the loudest person I've ever heard and just so obnoxious. But through time, I've realized to respect your sports knowledge and understand that you're just very confident, and this business is about entertaining. So I love listening to your show. I thought that was very nice.
Wow, that was a slew of detriments, and then it was a nice little compliment to end it. So that's nice. That's good. You won them over, Zach, with your amazing charm. Go figure.
I kill them with kindness. That's what I try to do.
All right, let me just ask this, because this is the first name you mentioned, Joe Girardi. Fire him in Philly right now. Get him out of town. You're moving on from Joe Girardi already.
Yeah, I'd like to see how the season does end first. And I do find this very funny because this is coming from someone that asked Brody Van Wagenen when he hired Carlos Beltran for the 17 minutes when Beltran was the manager. Hey, Brody Van Wagenen, Zach Gelb here, wherever I was working at the time. Why didn't you hire the more experienced guy in Joe Girardi that, I don't know, won a ring in New York? But this is another ugly Philly season. I don't pin it all on Joe because the last few years, even when Clentak was there, just the roster management was absolutely horrible. But this division right now, I'm a Mets fan. The Mets are playing guys that I don't even know who the heck they were, or I didn't even know they were in the major leagues. And the Mets have a few game lead in the NL East. This division, I thought it was going to be the best division in baseball. It stinks.
Oh, yeah. I thought the same thing. I know national guys like Tim Kirchin was talking about how this is going to be the best division in baseball. It's crazy. It has just been that bad. And it's not even like the division itself is beating the crap out of each other. It's the Phillies going and, losing to just like God knows who and blowing saves left and right and blowing leads left and right because the bullpen. Here's what I've discovered, Zach. In the last 2 years, the Phillies bullpen has gone through 4 different changes, really. They started with one, changed it midseason, started with another. They'll probably change it again this season. They changed it again a little bit already with guys getting injured and guys coming back. It's cursed. That's really all there is to it. It's a cursed bullpen. They got to change bullpen levels. Wherever they work out, move the away team down there and move them up there because that's the only thing I think you can solve this.
Hold on.
They're cursed.
When Citizens Bank Ballpark opened, didn't they have to change the locations of the bullpen because Brad Lidge was annoyed that he was getting booed too much?
Billy Wagner.
That's who it was. Yeah. Brad Lidge was perfect in Philadelphia. What am I talking about?
That was the only time we had a good bullpen in my existence of my life.
Here's what's concerning me about Girardi just real quickly.
Yeah.
There are things that he's doing that I never thought would suggest to me that the moment's too big for him because he just was the manager in New York. But what happened a few weeks ago with Max Scherzer, I thought was an absolute disgrace. And I thought Girardi was 1,000% in the wrong.
Oh, come on.
When he's getting the check in the middle of the inning, the guy was already checked twice, Joe. Like, come on, slow down there, Girardi. Ridiculous.
I loved every second of it.
I'll fight you, Kalon. You weren't fighting anyone. You were sitting on the dugout being what happens in the NBA. Hold me back, bro. Hold me back, bro, when you're trying to initiate a fight.
Girardi jumped off the bench. What are you talking about? He was standing there at home plate saying, bring it, brah.
He was never getting into a fight. We all know that.
I'll tell you, in all honesty, no, all kidding aside, I love that Joe Girardi did it. I thought he made it up. It was 100% gamesmanship. Max Scherzer, how he was reacting every time he was checked. And Girardi's like, let me poke him a little bit here and see what happens. Turns out Scherzer still dominated for the rest of the night. But Girardi, I think, was just trying to poke the bear just a little bit.
Maybe I did voice some of my displeasure, against Joe Girardi, just because with everything that I have a problem with Major League Baseball here. Because Rob Manfred, he is a incompetent fool. He's a clown. And he turns little things that aren't necessary to fix into big problems. And that's what you get here. And my favorite part about this, I think it was Joel Sherman 2 weeks ago. Yeah, they're not going to check for any of the sicky stuff in the All-Star game, a.k.a. they don't care about the All-Star game, but we're going to make this such a big deal for everyone else during the season. It's a joke.
It's a joke now, and it's going to be a joke in what, a year when there's another work stoppage? Because there's definitely going to be another work stoppage.
Oh, no doubt.
That's where we're headed. So it's like in my mind, as a guy, Zach, who's been a number one baseball guy my entire life, and everything else falls in line after that, I can't stand the product I'm watching right now. Like basketball, with the way it's called now, I hate it versus the way it was even 3 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Baseball for me is right there as far as a huge dip in production and interest due to the way the game's officiated now. And that's just how I look at it. I know you just got done a shift up there in New York at the time that we're doing this, so I want to make sure I get all these other national perspective things I need from you, my friend.
Sure.
And the next thing up here is Ben Simmons. Ben Simmons, in my mind, I think, and my listeners are tired of me saying this, and I apologize, but I have to get your take on this. I think could be an MVP candidate if he adds a mid-range game and becomes a 70% free throw shooter. He's that good defensively. He's that good as a facilitator. That's how he's made all-star teams. He adds those two very basic things to his game, and we're talking about somebody that's not just getting a sixth-place vote like he did this past year, but a legit contender in the conversation for MVP. What is Ben Simmons to you?
Ben Simmons to me is someone that is afraid to shoot the basketball, and I thought this was always a problem, but it's a lot worse than what I ever thought it was going to be, because he passed up throwing down a dunk because he was apprehensive to go to the free throw line. Now, going into the playoffs, I said the Sixers were the third best team in the Eastern Conference. I thought the Nets are better, and I thought that the Milwaukee Bucks were better, because we've seen this script over and over and over again where fans get hyped up in the regular season, and there was a reason to be excited this year with how abysmal the regular season was a year ago, and they made some changes. Ben, though, is still in what is usually an irrelevant regular season in the NBA. He's still not willing to take jump shots and be aggressive in the regular season. They could tell me defensive player of the year candidate. They could tell me, what he does for the offense, blah, blah, blah. Until he finds the ability to shoot the basketball, at least make the defense honest, the Sixers aren't going to win a championship, because as much as I love Joel Embiid, how entertaining he is, and how he was an MVP candidate of the league this year, we've seen in the postseason, we've seen it so many times that Embiid, as great as he is, he's not the guy that you want with the final possession, final shot in the final minute or two. You need a guard to finish. And I know Ben's not a traditional guard, right, but Ben has not been able to finish. You even see it in Denver with the MVP of the league in Nikola Jokic last year. Who was finishing? Jamal Murray. They need Ben to keep the defense honest, and I don't think he's ever going to do that in Philadelphia.
What are the odds they get a Dame Lillard for him? What are the odds they get a CJ McCollum? Anybody like that they could get in return for a trade? Anything?
If it's Damian Lillard, give right now Daryl Morey executive of the year. McCollum makes sense because for both sides, you need a better offensive player. That's CJ McCollum, even though he has problems showing up in the clutch. And on the other side, Portland's defense, they absolutely stink. And Ben at least could give you some good minutes and some great minutes on the defensive end. I keep on vacillating on this. But I said it the minute after the season ended, I just think he's going to be there for one more season. They're going to give this another go, but I don't expect much to change. And with Embiid only getting older and how many injuries that he suffers, you have a 3-4 year window to try to win something. So you can't keep on wasting Joel Embiid's prime.
I think that's their number one priority right now. Just that, the clock ticking on Joel Embiid right now. As far as NBA goes, rest of the way, Suns, Bucks, who do you like in the series?
Well, I'm going to go with the Bucks, and it's not some great rhyme or reason here. Just whenever you start to fall in love with one team in the NBA this year, the other team finds a way to win. So this postseason, expect the unexpected. Giannis, we had Peter Fagan on, the Bucks president, tonight. I saw that he was just listed as doubtful. Yeah. I asked him straight up, is he going to play in game one? He said, I don't know. If it was up to him, like he wants to play, the guy's a warrior, all that typical stuff that you usually hear. I think the Bucks find a way to split. Maybe you see Giannis back game 3. If they lose, it'll be interesting. If they try to force him back and rush him back to game 2, something tells me this is going 7, and something just tells me that the Bucks are going to win.
Okay, all right. We'll see what happens with Giannis there. I'm actually pulling for the Suns just because I do have a man crush on Chris Paul, just like a lot of other people.
Hey, Chris Paul, the last 2 years, really, I get it. This guy was a Hall of Famer before that. The last 2 years, I think nationally, people have grown a greater appreciation because everyone looked at the Thunder. Yeah, they're not going to make the playoffs. They get to the 5th seed. They force the Rockets to a game 7. And then this year, we all knew that the Suns were going to be a playoff team. No one thought they'd have the second best record in the league. So Chris Paul would be well-deserved, obviously, if he gets the ring.
Speaking of man crushes, when do you think Tom Brady hangs it up?
Why? You think I like Tom Brady? Because I don't just like him. I love him.
You love Tom.
2 years. 2 years left
for
Tom
more years.
Brady.
Okay.
2 more years.
All right. Now, I know
I love Tom Brady as much as I love that filet mignon and lobster mac and cheese when I was an intern and it was served up to me at 7:30 a.m.
Here's what I'm hoping doesn't happen with Tom Brady, and I don't think it will necessarily because Brett Favre played a much different style of football. Brett Favre, you remember how quick it ended for him. I mean, he was the NFC East, NFC Championship game, had the horrible interception, right? And then the next season, it was awful. Like, he was MVP worthy, and then awful. It was done. It was over for him. And I'm hoping that Father Time doesn't sneak up and then jump and tackle Tom Brady the way it did for Brett Favre. So you're saying 2 more years of Tom Brady?
Yeah, I'm going 2 more years, and I know people aren't going to like this because I say Tom Brady has already kicked Father's Time's ass, and people will go, well, that's the point of Father's Time. Eventually, he'll creep up on you. The guy is going to be 44 he's going to turn, I'm pretty sure, in September. And the guy just keeps on getting better. He's like fine wine. Us Italians will know that. He just keeps on getting better with age. And I remember after they lost the second Super Bowl to the Giants, a guy that blocked me on Twitter, Rob Parker, for wishing him good morning after the Patriots came back from down 28-3. Rob Parker was on ESPN after the second Giants Super Bowl saying, no way, no how that Tom Brady's going to get back to another Super Bowl, let alone win another Super Bowl. And there's been so many people, him, Max Kellerman, and we all get predictions wrong. Hey, I get more predictions wrong than right. But for over a decade now, people say that this guy's going to fall off a cliff or have Father Time meet up to him, and it just hasn't been the case. So was he great last year? No, but he still won a Super Bowl. So as long as you protect Tom Brady, he's going to be in it each and every year.
Okay, let me just ask you this. Yes or no? Over the next 2 years, if there is a decline, will it be a graceful decline?
Yeah, sure. Why not? He'll probably go write up some recipe on TB12 and then walk off into the sunset with 7 rings. This doesn't get negative. It never does. Even if he hangs on for another 4 years and stinks, so what? You have Eggface2467 clown you on Twitter. What can you honestly clown Tom Brady about on Twitter anymore?
All right, I just want this to happen. When Tom Brady does retire, I want him to do it at a press conference where he's drinking a 40 and eating a sausage, egg, and cheese on an everything bagel and a pastrami omelet on a, what was it?
Oh, on a egg everything bagel pastrami omelet.
Okay, okay, there we go.
Let's try to make it healthy and make it a whole wheat bagel. Low carbs, please.
With a little thing of kale for garnish.
Well, how about this? Brady now, I guess, is endorsing Subway, my producer told me last week.
I'm unaware of that.
That is like when Shaq does the commercial for the little car. No, everyone knows Shaq's not driving that car. Brady's not eating Subway sandwiches.
Better in a Buick. Better in a Buick.
Yeah.
Anyway, last thing for you, this is stick with quarterbacks, stick with the NFL. Jalen Hurts to you. Jalen Hurts to you. What is he? What do you think Jalen Hurts is?
Jalen Hurts is not being put in a situation to succeed. That is what I will say. Howie Roseman must have pictures of Jeffrey Lurie. That's the only explanation why I think Howie Roseman still has a job. And I'm pretty sure my best friend is second cousins with Howie Roseman. So I always find that funny when I trash Howie Roseman on here. Now, I give Howie credit. He did something that many people thought he could never do, win a Super Bowl. But the fact that he remains when Doug Peterson's out, when Carson Wentz is out, and I get it, they had to get rid of Carson. He didn't want to be there anymore. And my opinion of Carson Wentz has really changed. But how Howie remains, that one, other than the naked pictures of Jeffrey Lurie, is the only explanation. I look at this offensive line. It's getting older. The weapons, they should have Justin Jefferson. They should have DK Metcalf. They have Jalen Reagor and JJ Arcega-Whiteside. I just don't think, especially with the unknown of Nick Sirianni, which I would, if I was still in Philadelphia, this is what I would do. Every practice I'm there, rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Every morning just to break bread with Nick Sirianni. So I'll say that the Eagles finish, I don't know, third or fourth in this division, and they'll look for a new quarterback next year, whether that's via trade or in the draft. Because even though I like Jalen Hurts and I think the kid's a winner, this situation, this team is just not going to be good this year.
Plus, he has to be so good that he has to taunt the Eagles or draw the Eagles away from the idea of taking another quarterback next year when they're going to have probably 3 first-round picks. So that's another thing.
And who knows? Maybe Wilson is available again. Deshaun Watson, we have to see what happens off the field. Aaron Rodgers could still be available, or you could fall in love with someone in the draft.
All right, now I know the second person I'm about to ask you against, and I swear this is the last thing, and it's kind of sports related.
Don't worry. Pete Rose once told me, by the way, I did an interview with him, and the last 15 minutes of the interview, last question, he goes, that's how you're a good interviewer, because you made me think I was getting off the phone, and in reality, we were nowhere close.
By the way, let me just say this as an aside. I have never met anyone like Zach Gelb who is so damn connected in this sports world, like instantaneously. Like, God bless you, man. I remember at WFP, you were booking guests for the show. Like, hold on, I got this guy. Who was it? Rocket Ishmael? Whoever the hell it was. Yeah. You're like, oh, just text him real quick. Beep, bop, bop, beep, bop, bop. Oh, he's good for 8:00 tomorrow. Like, it was the weirdest thing. Anyway.
Well, I appreciate that, but don't you know, like Adam Schefter, or you're friends with Bob Costas? I'm gonna say they're a little bit more connected than yours truly.
Yeah, but I expect it from them. I didn't expect it from an intern that had a mouthful of mac and cheese, crab mac and cheese.
You fed me well. I said okay. They're gonna give me good food. I'll hook them up with contacts.
All right, I know the first fan is very popular. The first fan is Sons and Four guy. Okay.
Do we fight now?
We don't. No, I think we'll do what this guy does. Do you like Sons in 4 guy, or do you like Bucks in 6 guy? Have you seen Bucks in 6 guy?
A full disclosure. We are on a few stations in Wisconsin. I ripped the league apart when they were investigating the Bucks for trying to, with the whole Bogdanovich situation with the tampering and how everyone was trying to get Giannis out of town. Mm-hmm. I defended Giannis and the Bucks so much, and I wanted Giannis to stay in Milwaukee, that in Milwaukee, I'm told that I may be going to game 3 of the NBA Finals. I was told that I would drink for free for the rest of my life, and even the president of the Bucks texted me saying there will be a Zach Gelb Appreciation Day one night at Fiserv Forum. Now, I don't know if that's ever going to happen, but that's what they told me. And the local station there, 1250 The Fan in Milwaukee, said I'm the only national radio host that consistently represents Milwaukee well and proudly.
Okay. All right. So I'm
taking the Bucks.
Have you at least seen Bucks in 6 guy? You know what I'm talking about?
Was this recently?
Here it is. This is game 5. Game 5 in Milwaukee. Here's a fan predicting the Bucks to win in 6, which they went on to do. Here it is. Here you see him. He chugs his beer. Gets a little crazy here.
You know what that guy looks like? That looks like Franiac that we used to work with. Wow. Sorry, Franiac. I didn't see his shirt off.
Franiac just dropped. Do you see that? Bucks in 6. Do you see that? Bucks in 6.
Bucks in 6.
I thought he looked more like Peter Griffin, but Franiac's lost a lot of weight, by the way. Franiac's like you. You guys are dropping LBs, apparently.
All us fat guys, we eventually lose weight. It's just a matter of time. You either lose the weight or you drop dead.
He posted a picture online the other day, and it was his before and after, and I just commented, nah, go back.
I will say, I think the wing bowl that I was a part of, aka I was an intern for and had to clean up vomit in the studio, was the one where Franiac dressed up. It was Chris Christie.
Yeah.
Because that whole year, you guys saved the video where Chris Christie was in studio and his fat ass fell right through the chair. That was gold.
That was gold. Wing bowl was a good time.
Seeing you, by the way, talking about fat people, not saying you're fat, but you were like a fat kid in a candy store, knowing the video that everyone else had, and how everyone in the station knew about it, but we weren't allowed to say anything until the video was released public.
We could not say a damn thing. His name is Zach Gelb. He does a little radio show on the national scale, 6 to 10 p.m. every night on CBS Sports Radio. It's called appropriately the Zach Gelb Show. Couldn't be happier for you, my friend. Thanks for coming on, man. Continued success. I'm sure we'll talk to you again soon.
Farzy, you're the best. I appreciate it. Thanks so much, brother.
Back at you. Zach Gelb joining us here on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. Once again, my thanks to Zach Gelb joining us here on the Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. It's funny. You have a thought in your head, and it could be just the right place, right time, where you look over at the comment section and someone will type what you're, I don't even want to say thinking, because it's more than that, what you're worried about. And there's a discussion in the business a lot. And coincidentally, when I was at WIP, this would come up a lot in conversation because I was a producer. I would produce a lot of Joe Conklin's bits on the show. And we would every once in a while be writing a bit. Really, him and Joe Wechter would be writing a bit. I'd be helping out. Another friend of Joe's be helping. And we would worry if we were making an inside joke in the bit. Like, is that only funny to us or is that funny to other people? And in all honesty, 9 times out of 10, the inside joke stayed in the bit simply because people, I think, know when you're telling an inside joke. And even if they're not on the inside of that joke, they get it and they identify with an inside joke that really relates to themselves when you're making the inside joke. So, like, it's this big debate when you're getting ready to produce something or getting ready to present something to a mass audience. It's like, hold on a second. Okay, is that only funny to us or is that funny to everybody? Like, you can't tell me that in, like, the Judd Apatow movies or Will Ferrell movies or Adam McKay movies, they don't have inside jokes in there. You know what I mean? And we still laugh at it, but we laugh at it for a different reason. They might be laughing at it for one thing. We might be laughing at it for another. But I look over, and the first thing I see is Dante saying inside jokes, but I still think I get them. And that's kind of exactly, that's not kind of, it is exactly what we think when we're writing those things or we're making those jokes impromptu, as Zach and I just were. But great dude. He impressed the hell out of me when he was at Temple, and he's one of those guys you meet and you're like, well, this guy's going places. And sure enough, national radio scene for him up at CBS Sports Radio. So great to have him on the program and catch up. Like I said, we were just kind of kicking it there for a while. But thanks to him for joining the show. Hey, and he did join us on that Rothman Orthopaedics guest line. And when you have an orthopedic issue, you need a physician who eats, sleeps, and breathes orthopedics. That's why you need someone with the Rothman approach. You need an exceptionally specialized Rothman Orthopaedics physician. They not only specialize in orthopedic care, but each of their physicians is only focused on one area of the body. That's right. They focus on one area of the body, which means you will have confidence to get past the pain and be what you were. Visit them in one of their 30-plus Pennsylvania locations, as well as New Jersey, including 4 orthopedic-only urgent cares. Learn more at RothmanOrtho.com. That's RothmanOrtho.com. If you missed the show yesterday, you missed my update on Steak and Maine because it was delicious on Friday. Absolutely delicious on Friday. Went with 2-pound steak again. Nice eagle roll with the lobster, the sushi. It was fantastic as per usual. Had another glass or two of the Pinot Noir. It was just absolutely fantastic. You got to try this. Got to go to Steak and Maine in the heart of Northeast Maryland. Go to steakandmaine.com for more information. Whether you like to dine in a more upscale steakhouse or casual bar and patio, you'll enjoy the highest quality of prime meats, fresh seafood, world-class oyster bar, and freshly prepared sushi. All that and an extensive wine list, including Cavada Cellars Wines. I had their Pinot Noir. That's what I'm talking about, Cavada Cellars Wines. It was great. Open every day for lunch, dinner, and Sunday brunch. Steak and Maine in Northeast Maryland, voted #1 place for steaks in America by the Travel Channel, the Cooking Channel. Check it out for yourself at steakandmaine.com. A lot going on this summer in terms of Philadelphia sports on and off the surfaces of play. Make sure you follow it all at phlsportsnation.com, a Philadelphia sports site that is geared towards our local teams right here in Philadelphia for your favorite teams across blogs and social media. Make sure you're following PHLSportsNation.com. Philadelphia Sports Nation, enhancing your Philadelphia sports fan experience. And how about our friends at FanUp? I told you yesterday I had some more challenges coming over the weekend. You could challenge me too on the FanUp app at Farzy Show. So just go ahead, hit us up. Go to the App Store, download the FanUp app, get 2,000 bonus points right when you start. So you have something to play with right there. You could challenge your friends. You're going to make bets with your friends. You're going to have a lot of fun, talk smack, share gifts, all that crazy stuff we like to do, all the kids like to do nowadays on the message boards, whatever. Kids go on message boards? I don't know. But anyway, FanUp app is where it's at. The FanUp app. Go to the App Store, download the FanUp app for 2,000 bonus points right out of the gate. Days playing fantasy sports alone are over with the FanUp app. You can answer fun questions throughout the week. You can rise on their leaderboard, take part in daily and weekly contests as well to gain yourself more points. It is a great time. And don't forget, you can win great brand prizes as well on the FanUp app. So make sure you download that app right now in the App Store. All right, time for our social media check-in, brought to you by Steak and Maine at steakandmaine.com. What do we have here? We have a lot going on. A lot going on here. I'll start. Let me just start it up at the top here. Let me go to Luigi. Morning, Fars. Morning to you, Luigi. Kevin Smith, you seem like a Scrapple guy. I am a Scrapple guy. And good morning to you as well, Kevin. I love Scrapple. And I didn't even know it was area specific to Philadelphia until, you get older and you travel around and you're looking for Scrapple on the menu and people are like, what? And it's like, yeah, it's a big deal. I absolutely love it. Jason's checking in saying, good morning. What's up? April. Good morning, April. Kevin saying just good morning to April. That's funny. Jason's checking in saying $17.1 million just to have a full indoor court. I agree with you. When it comes to anything with Ben Simmons, I just want to see that court. That's all. By the way, more on Ben Simmons coming up in our morning rush as far as a little Wimbledon thing, what happened. We'll talk about that in a second. Billy's checking in saying GM. Matt's checking in saying Fars and Cars is over. Matt, the next time I got to do a show from the car, we're calling it Fars and Cars, and I will try my best to remember that it was your suggestion. Steven Singer Studio. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, I got what you're saying. Don't you worry. The pen is so unreal. Brian's checking in. It is a very unreal bullpen, and I guess you never want to have to say it like this, but this is how you know you have a bad bullpen. I guess Ranger Suarez is our closer now. Yeah. For now, I guess he's our closer. All right, let's have at it. Let's see how he does. Try the next one. So we'll see how that goes. April, tight pants. You damn right, tight pants is on the bump today for the Cubbies. Look forward to seeing old tight pants. I got it like the tight pants. I like the tight pants. I got the tight pants on. Sorry. All right, that's a reference to my Fanatic days. Shoot. Wait, what? Oh, Kevin saying needs a shooting coach. He absolutely does need a shooting coach, Ben Simmons. I think we could all agree with that. But here's the thing, and this is what's really been rattling around in my brain a lot. Because I read a lot of the sports sites, right? PHL Sports Nation, for instance. And I'll read a lot of the comments and all that. And it's all about Ben Simmons and how he can't shoot. Ben Simmons can't shoot. Ben Simmons can't shoot. Ben Simmons can't shoot. He can't shoot free throws. But Ben Simmons won't shoot jump shots. Which, like the decision, I saw this thing I thought was really interesting yesterday. And it had, I forget what it was called. Sixers, one of the accounts on Instagram that just popped up. It was Sixers something. And it was like, if you could give Ben Simmons two characteristics from these five players, what would it be? And it was like Chris Paul's handle, Kyrie Irving's handle. It was Giannis's body, which I thought was weird. It had like Michael Jordan's fadeaway, Kobe's mentality, and all this other stuff. And it was like, if you could give him two personalities from these five people, what would you give him? And I was like, I'd give him Kobe's mentality, and that's it. That would be all he needs. Because he could physically do everything on the basketball court. But if he had that Mamba mentality, forget about if he's an MVP or not. It's about how many MVPs he has. Anybody of that size, handle, speed, capability of facilitating and defensive prowess, you give him a Mamba mentality, you give him Kobe's mentality. Oh my God, that's all he needs. He doesn't need anything else because everything else will fall into place. But when it comes to Ben, again, it's not a matter of what he can't shoot. He can't shoot free throws. That I'll agree with. But what he won't do is shoot, which is more frustrating to know that he won't even try it. But yeah, a shooting coach, I think he needs a therapist. I don't know if it's a therapist or a psychologist. He needs to be hypnotized. Okay, that's what he needs. Ben Simmons needs to be hypnotized into thinking he's not Steph Curry, because I don't think he's that good a shooter. But he just needs to be hypnotized into thinking that he's allowed to shoot. We'll just go with that. Oh, Luigi's back. Fars, some wild weather is predicted this week, but I'd feel better if we had a professional come on this fine program and confirm what we all need, if you catch my drift. I got you. Luigi. I actually had somebody reach out to me about doing it, and I'll get back to her and let her know whether or not we can work out something for her to do a little, maybe a 5-day forecast, maybe a 5-bay forecast. Huh? Yeah. Anyway, Benny, good morning, everyone, except Mike Sealski. What's up, Benny? Every single day, Kevin's laughing his ass off at that. April, I'm here in North Carolina. It's going to be ugly. Can Luigi finally get his weather girl? Now even April's asking. Okay, now if April adds on to it, I'll definitely reach out to this young lady and see if she'll be interested in giving us a 5-bay forecast, if you will. That's what we're calling it now, by the way, 5-bay forecast. All right, crazy summer is flying. It's just going by. And yeah, April, by the way, good luck with the storm and everything. Everyone down there in North Carolina. My cousin is headed down there this weekend. And, this week on vacation. And they're like, first vacation in 3 years. This is great. And I was like, is it? Good luck to you. Well, as long as they're getting away. Mark, with that summer glow, am I tanner than usual? I mean, I was at the pool most of the weekend. It was a good time. Lil Toots loved it. Well, at the end, or in the middle, I think is what I told you guys yesterday, and that's true. What else do we have people checking in? Definitely a lack of sunscreen this weekend. Am I red? Am I toasty? I caked it up pretty good. I put on SPF 50, which I generally don't go above SPF 8 in my life, but it's all we had. It was all that was available to me. And it's funny, I'll stand on a golf course for like 10 minutes and be burnt. But I'll stand by a pool for 6 hours and just get a little kiss of the sun, just like as you're seeing right now. What else do you have people checking in here? How did Rob Parker get in this convo? I don't know, Ian. I don't know. What else do we have? Dante saying the inside jokes thing. Yeah, I think we both got it. Yes, this guy really brought the energy at 11 p.m. last night. It was actually 10:15. And we talked for 15 minutes before I hit record. I think that about wraps it up. Yeah. Guys, thanks. Everyone that comment on our YouTube page here. Much appreciated. Appreciate the comments as per usual. Look forward to checking back with you guys again tomorrow. One more time, for those that missed it in the beginning, no Hugh Douglas today, so no Hugh's day. I thought Zach Gelb filled in admirably, but Hugh was still traveling back for the 4th of July weekend, so we'll talk to him. We'll catch up with him again next week. So that was our social media check-in, brought to you by Steak and Maine and SteakandMaine.com. Now it's time for our morning rush, brought to you by Sky Motorcars and SkyMotorcars.com. What else do we have? Okay, here's what we got. Bucks Suns game 1 tonight, 9 o'clock in Phoenix. We mentioned that earlier. Stanley Cup. I haven't even mentioned the Stanley Cup Finals. The Habs won their first game of the series in OT 3-2 last night. So Tampa still leads that series 3-1. If you would have told me back in, what the hell year was it, 2004, that the Philadelphia Flyers were going to have 0 Stanley Cups still in my lifetime. By the time the Tampa Bay Lightning, oh God, just dawned on me, the Super Bowl and the Stanley Cup. Damn it. And they were they almost won a World Series last year too. God, come on. Tampa Bay Sports City. If you would have told me that many years ago when I was watching the Flyers led by Jeremy Roenick, Tony Amonte. Who else? Peter Nedved, I believe, was on that team. Alexei Zhemnov. Danny Markov. Filled in for Sammy Kapanen, came in and went from wing to defense. If you would have told me that team that got bounced out, it's Keith Primo's team, got bounced out against the Lightning. The Lightning went on to win the Stanley Cup, and then the Lightning won another Stanley Cup. In my lifetime, that would have been a very depressed young Flyers fan right there. But yet, that's where we're at right now. Ben Simmons at Wimbledon. Here we are, folks. Without further ado, here we are. This is him and his lady friend, Maya Jama. Is that how you say her name? She's a lovely young lady. And there you can see them getting cozy. I know she's a TV in Britain, in the UK. They don't call them DJs or VJs. They call them presenters, which I think is a cool thing. And I actually saw Pierre Robert talk about this one time, and I thought it was brilliant. Like in radio, especially DJs, is just dumb. Presenter is like a cooler way to put it. I think a much more appropriate way to put it, I should say. And this woman is a TV presenter. So they're apparently dating and whatnot, getting all cozy, and good for them. But I will say, I never fault athletes, regardless of how a season ends, for enjoying their life. I will fault them if they buy a $17 million home, $17.5 million home, and all of a sudden they don't have a basketball hoop put up. Like there's not I mean, come on, not even at home. I grew up with one. You go, don't tell me there's a park you're going to around the corner. I know you might be going to a gym to work out, and I know we'll see the social media posts coming. But I mean, how do you not at least have a hoop at the house? I'm gonna give him a minute. I'm not gonna jump on him because he didn't own the house yet. But I'm just saying, the next video of the house, pictures of the house, I'd like to see a hoop somewhere in the vicinity. Ben Simmons wants to go away with his lady friend. These man's allowed to have a life. I'm not going to jump on him. He told us he was going to, clear his mind, get away from the game for a minute before he goes back to the workshop, hopefully. I'm hoping he does, and we'll see where that goes. So, yeah, let's all cross our fingers for that. But she is lovely. All right. USA women's soccer, they beat Mexico yesterday 4-0 in a friendly. It was the second time they beat them in as many games. I figure if I'm going to talk about the next thing, I better get in some USA conversation as well. So congratulations to the United States women's team, 4-0, taking care of business yesterday against Mexico. And then Italy, Spain today, 3 o'clock in the Euro. I think they win that. They go on to the championship. So we'll see Italy. This is what I'm talking about. We'll see how that goes. So I look forward to seeing who wins that today. Let's jump into our big bet segment brought to you by Sky Motorcars and DraftKings and DraftKings Sportsbook. Here's what I got for you today in our big bets segment. The Suns today, -6 going up against the Bucks in game 1. I like the Suns to actually win game 1 and cover that. I know a lot of people talk about the rust factor. What's better, rust or rest? I'm going to go ahead and say that the rest was better for the Suns. I think they win game 1. I think they cover in game 1. And I think we're going to have ourselves one hell of a series. So I look forward to seeing how all this plays out. I want to preview something for you tomorrow. So everyone's back from vacation today. Tomorrow we'll have another guest, obviously. But I do want to recap 2 things. One thing from our Mark Jackson interview from last week, and then I want to revisit something Zach Berman told us yesterday about Zach Ertz. So I kind of highlighted in the beginning of the show. I want to go back to it tomorrow because I think it'll still apply. And the other thing I want to get back to is Mark Jackson talking about something in particular when it comes to Ben Simmons. Mark Jackson was on this show on Thursday, it was. And it was Friday morning, excuse me. And Mark Jackson talked to us about Ben Simmons being welcomed back to Philly after his playoff performance from this past postseason. And I know the recency bias and all that stuff is still very much in our heads. But Mark talked about, from a player's perspective, how difficult it would be to step foot on the basketball court after everybody knows what the hell happened in your last game on that same basketball court in that same jersey. Because we all know what happened. And Zach Gelb mentioned it. Zach Berman mentioned it. Mark Jackson mentioned it. You had the dunk right in front of you, and you're afraid to go into the foul line. That's what happened. Everyone knows it. So stepping foot back on that court in that same jersey would be a very, very difficult thing. And Mark Jackson talked about that with us on Friday. So I want to make sure we highlight that because I know some things with people's schedules all over the place with the holiday weekend. I want to focus back on some of the things that got said on this program that we could definitely kick around and use for fuel for thought. My thanks to Jim Hyden, who produced the program, did a fine job doing so. This is a Buzz Sports and Entertainment production. My name is Marc Farzetta. I'll be back with you guys tomorrow. Look forward to it. Thanks for everyone that watched, downloaded, listened, and everyone that commented here on our YouTube page as well. Much obliged to everyone. We'll be back with you guys tomorrow for a already Wednesday edition. Short week, at least it feels like it, with the holiday weekend. Have a great rest of the day, everybody. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take it easy, everyone. Peace.